What's up, guys? We're going to learn how to drive a car, a truck, whatever, as long as it has a standard transmission, as we can see here. It's going to be driving the same way. Well, this car is a Chevrolet Corsa, comes with 5 speeds as you can see in the image, and reverse, 5 speeds and reverse. Now I'm not gonna show you what will be the lights of the dashboard, like the handbrake. It shows that it turns on. Those are wireless lights, however you wanna call them. Now we're gonna show you how to drive. If you'd like to know what is every light of the dashboard for, like checking its stats of the car before going on a trip or right before using it, at the end of this video you'll see a box. You just click on it and there will show you what its lights are, as well as how to drive automatic transmission. I'm gonna show you a standard and automatic, but the automatic one is going to be at the end of this video, that it will appear a thumbnail. You just click on it and it will redirect you to the automatic transmission video or the one of the dashboard light. I also have a tutorial on how to drive a trailer. Well, let's start. As I said, first we have to know is the speeds we're gonna drive with. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, and then reverse. To hit reverse in this car modded Chevrolet Corsa, you have to lift it so you can hit. If you don't lift it, it won't let you hit reversed. That's why I like this car. It has a lot of safety. And sometimes reverse, a lot of people have it as a 6-speed, but if you're on the road and someone that doesn't know how to drive, it's going on 5th, thinking that it's going to be a 6-speed, they're going to hit reverse. That's why in this car, it won't let us hit reverse at all. And then here, the pedals in every car, whether it be Europe, Mexico, or the United States, it will be always this way. The long one is the accelerator, the brake, and the clutch. So, brake in the middle, this is going to be the accelerator. Remember, in automatic car, the clutch doesn't work. We just have it too. We're going to drive with both feet. The left one is going to be the clutch, and the right one, accelerator and brake. Whenever you're using a car, always check the accelerator. When it's on, touch the accelerator. I have it on, touch the accelerator, and then you speed up the engine. But you will always have to check that, because there are some old cars in which the accelerator only works if you press it down a lot. This one, it's okay, it's responsive. And the brake too, you should check it before, and the clutch as well. The clutch, every time you use it, you're gonna press it deep down. In every car or truck is to the end. Unless it is a trailer, in that case it will be halfway. But always in cars, trucks, and vehicles of 6 speeds is this way. Because there are standards up to 18 speeds, but if it's of 6 speeds, 5 speeds, you'll have to press it down to the very bottom always, as if you want to press the plate with the clutch, so it doesn't wear down much. In order to check the clutch, remember, in newer cars, the clutch it's going to be upper. When they're older, it doesn't feel until the bottom, because they are older cars. Now I have the clutch right. Well, so you know the pedals. Here we have the speeds. First, second, third, fourth, fifth until here. Normally, when starting to drive, they tend to confuse and put third. A piece of advice, look, always the gear is going to be neutral. So, this is neutral, but it always gonna give a neutral to third and fourth. We move here and realize it's always gonna stay in this point, always heading to third and fourth. It's never gonna stay here, it's never gonna be here. So when you don't know in which speed you are, neutral, realize, and it's going to head towards the third. You always have to practice in every car, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. For reverse, you make this as I told you. Normally you have to press the gear, but that will depend on the vehicle that you have. This is a Corsa. Well, pull and push, and there it is in reverse. Now, if realize, it's gonna take me to, as I told you, neutral, heading to third and fourth. Well, now the most important thing, it's the clutch. Look, here I'm gonna hit the clutch until the bottom and set first. If you want to make a change of speed without using the clutch, let's think that we're going in first and then switch to neutral. Being in first is not going to let you switch to neutral. If I'm going at first and then I want to switch to second, I hit the clutch neutral. I can leave the clutch pressed as I have it and then I switch to second. If it gets difficult, let's switch to first, clutch, hit to neutral, realize, and I can hit again the clutch and switch to second. But I don't know, that will be with some experience. Now I'm going on first, I hit the clutch and then the second without releasing the clutch as I said. First, clutch for neutral, then clutch for second. Remember, the movement of the gear, you always have to make first towards first to hit first, and you will always have to make first to the right to switch to fifth. Remember, always by default, it will always be at neutral between third and fourth. Another thing, remember, let's say, if I hit the clutch, it's going to be open. If I realize, it's closed. If I press, it opens. If I realize, it's closed. Press, it opens, realize it closed. So while pressing, it's going to be open and you will be able to put the next speed. So I have it pressed now and it's open. I can put whichever speed that I want. Remember that if we don't press the clutch, it's closed. So what will happen if we want to put a speed, it won't let us. And also if you move it with a lot of effort without releasing the clutch, it can switch the speed wherever you want it, but you will break the gear of the transmission. Then the car won't go anywhere and it's going to be very expensive to fix the transmission. That's why I always use the clutch down to the bottom till it touches the plate. The clutch is until it reaches the place, almost like you want it to touch the engine, always to the end. So well, now that you know the essentials, our speeds, our clutch, we already hit it and we felt where it starts to work. We have tasted the brake, the accelerator. Now we're going to start the car. Remember, in the key, we're going to have this point. Well, where it enters normally. Some cars, when they are automatic, if you twist backwards, they have another dot right here. That is for listening to the radio and not wasting battery. But in this car, we only have this one, and then here we have the others. We twist it, there it goes in the second and then in the third. It will start, but if you notice, that's what I like about this car, that it has a lot of safety methods for kids. If we twist it, it won't let me, it won't start, because this car would always start pressing the clutch. Now I twisted, there I have the clutch pressed and it started. Now that the car is on and I want to keep starting, normally a car, then engine will sound like da 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 because it is already on, but in this car, this also has a lock. So I'm not gonna force the engine if I do that. How can we know if it's on when you're new to this? Well, we accelerate and the engine will sound, or we can see it in the revolutions. Now, you always have to start the car in neutral, with the car being in neutral. You can start it in first, but if you're new to this, better to start in neutral so there's no issue. Because if I'm here and I want to start, it will have a speed, so it will want you to go. But as we're not hitting the clutch, it's going to turn off. That's why in neutral and always the handbrake up. There it shows that the handbrake is up. It's that one turn it on and off. Always do that neutral. Now if you start, this is how you quit the handbrake. This you must know already, so neutral. The car, if we remove the key, we have the keys. It locks the steering wheel. This is a lock for kids. So if we have the lock on in some cars, if we want to start them, it won't let us because the steering wheel is locking it. So what we have to do is with the key already, we're going to twist it, and at the same time we move at the steering wheel and it will remove the lock from kids. Well, now that I explained how it all works, let's put the key and we're going to start it. Remember, with the clutch, we press it, we twist the key until it starts to engine. Remember, neutral, and we have the handbrake on. And so we're going to put the speeds. Remember, the car is already on now, so remember, always use the clutch because it can be damaged to the transmission box. So first we have to press the clutch and we press the brake at the same time. It's neutral. There they are, the clutch and the brake down in case you're on a slope. You have to hit the brake in any case. The handbrake is up, so we quit it. Now we're only with the brake, and now I'm putting neutral, then first, and that's how we start. Now, as I am in a flat lever, it's not a slope, I slowly release the clutch. If you notice, it takes a little for it to start going, like 4 seconds. And now the car is going. You always have to do that in a neutral, and you start counting with seconds very slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Within 4 seconds, it starts going. In some cars, as I said, the clutch is very old, and then at the very first second, the car will start going because the clutch is very worn out. So now look, the car is on and I have it on first. Now what happens if I release quickly the clutch? It will turn off the car. There, the car is off. If you notice, it's going back and forward because it was very drastic. So you don't want to do that. Always when you're driving, it's very important for the clutch to be released very slowly, and then the car starts going. So again, we hit the clutch, we fully close the key, and now we start it again. So now we're going to put first, clutch, first. Notice how my feet is moving. There I'm lifting it very slowly. Within the 4 seconds it starts moving. There is starting to move, but the clutch I haven't fully released it yet. There I pressed again. I press it and it stopped moving. That's why you have to release it completely. If you see the car is moving, you can release it. There I fully release it. When you're going on first, the car starts moving by itself. Look, I release it, I'm going on first. The car is moving by itself, just in first, and now I'm going to press the clutch to switch to neutral. When we press the clutch, as I said, it's open, so I can make whatever movement I want. So here I put a neutral, and now same for reverse. Reversed and any other speed, you always have to put it with the car full stop. It is possible with the car moving, you can be moving and put first. Let's switch to reverse. There I have the clutch pressed. The clutch is already in. You know, I press down the engine so it enters. I start to realize the clutch is very slowly, and now I'm going backward. Now I'm turning on the blinking lights in case any car is coming. And now I'm going backwards, it moves faster. So this is the hardest, like I'm saying, the clutch. Always remember to look at our rear views to check that there is no car coming. There it goes one. Remember to look at this one as well. If you see, we always have to check the 3 of them: middle, left, and right. This is the hardest thing, as I said, starting in first. Again, we press the clutch first, and we have to realize little by little. An example. Now we're going in first. We want to switch to second. We press the clutch and we go straight to second. Another hard thing, I started with a car that only showed me kilometers per hour or miles per hour, depends on the car. As we are in Mexico, it shows kilometers per hour. In the United States, it will always show miles per hour, or both at the same time. Now, this is revolutions of the engine. I started without this. It was a car that only showed me kilometers per hour, the temperature and the endurance, but not this. So I let them know when to change the speed. So I always make the change of speed at 2000, 2500. If I exceed 2000, there I'm wasting a lot of fuel. Anyway, I can make the change even in 3000s or 4000s, but that's when the car is full or when I'm upwards in a slope. Then I need to make the change at very high revolution rate, so the engine has a lot more momentum. But now I am alone and I want to save fuel. I make the change only at 2000 and 2500. unless I want to pass a car. Then I force it so it has a lot of more strength. So in first, when I'm going in first, the revolutions go up, and when it gets to this number 2, I hit the clutch, and then I switch to second. The revolutions drop, then again they are in 1000 and a half. Again, now I'm in a second, I accelerate more, or kilometers should be around 40. What I do is clutch, release the accelerator, switch to third. To make a change, we press the clutch, put the speed, release the clutch, and accelerate. For example, we go in first accelerating, we reach the 2000 revolutions. The car will indicate that it needs a second change because we're going slow. So what we do is, to make the change, we stop accelerating, we press the clutch real quick. Now here we change to second, and now that it's in second, we release the clutch and accelerate again so it doesn't lose revolutions. What should we do when we don't know which speed we are because we got lost or something? Clutch if you're going in second, or the speed that you're in, we're going neutral. Release the clutch, and now we're going neutral. If you got lost, it's better to step aside if there's any chance and start from 0 in first or second, and so. But until you all have gained more experience, it's better to practice away from the highways. So this is the most difficult part of the clutch. And the most important thing that we should be aware of is the temperature of the water in the engine. Don't let it pass beyond the half. If it does, it's better to stop and talk to the mechanic, because if it goes beyond the half, you're going to unravel the car, and fixing that is very expensive. So it's better safe than sorry. Drive aside and talk to the mechanic. What I do at the 1000 revolutions is that I make the changes, but if you aren't able to look at the revolutions, which is very unlikely, if you don't know how to put the speeds, I recommend you to put a piece of paper and mark first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So if you don't have this when the hand is in the number 1, is that you need to be in the speed 1 when it's number 2, second, and that with every speed. So you know in which kilometer per hour you should change your speed. But if you have this, you can use this. Even if you have both, you still can mark the speeds with papers there. To reduce, we are in 5th in the highway, and I want to switch to 4th. I press the clutch, set the 4th, and now I release the clutch and done. Now we're going 4th. Why is the reducing helpful? To slow down the car with the engine. It slows the car and we can help with the brake, but I don't normally do that because I don't feel like forcing the engine. When I go in 5th, the first thing I do is I press the brake. When it is a proper speed, I press the clutch and switch to 4th. With the time, you're gonna get used to it. Now, another thing, I just turn the AC on. When you have the AC on, you have to accelerate more. I said 2000, but with the AC on, it needs to accelerate more. With experience, you will learn that when the car starts trembling, with experience, you're going to be able to make more change of speed. So first, we reach the 2000 revolutions. We press the clutch. Second, and now the revolutions just dropped to 1000. When it reached again 2000s, we press the clutch, switch the third, release the clutch, and we keep accelerating. Always remember to release the clutch slowly, because if you release quickly, the car will lag a little. So it's better slowly. Well, now I'm going to drive so you can see how this is. Look, what I do to start up, I always accelerate a little. I release the clutch slowly because this way I start moving quickly. You can start only with the clutch and it will go slower. But what you can do here is accelerate and help with the clutch. So accelerate and release the clutch slowly, and you will be able to move forward and faster. That's why you have to play with both accelerated and clutch in order to look accelerate and realize, accelerate and realize, accelerate and realize, accelerate, realize, accelerate, realize. So what is that for? To move forward and faster.